Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social Season 2, Episode 42. We're back again, boys, and it's been like 2 weeks, isn't it? So, obviously, your boy Ryan, Ben, Maz, lads, how have we been last couple of weeks? It's been a bit strange, that footy, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
It's been good.
It's been.
As you can see, it sounds alive.
I can touch grass. I was going to say, I've got a tan, which just shows that it's actually pre-season already, and Maz has lost his voice.
I have. It's been a busy time for me. I had a Park Live Saturday. I had Soccer Aid yesterday. And here I am on Seagulls Social on Monday, mate. The perfect
it's only
hat-trick.
Up. It's only going up, yeah.
Exactly.
You're at the pinnacle now.
It only goes... Exactly, I've hit the pinnacle. But no, it's been busy. Tired. I didn't stop work till about 3 a.m. last night. So, yeah, man, I'm tired. But anything for the Seagulls. So here we go.
Yeah, boy.
Right now. And Ben?
Ryan, how are you, man? I kind of just said I've actually been able to go outside since the football season's finished. So it's been nice to actually touch grass.
Hey, I'm up in the Midlands again.
Before I forget, I enjoyed some life on the Saturday. Sorry, Ryan. Before I forget, I bumped into a lad called Harry and I think a lad called Charlie. So if you're listening, boys, great meeting you. They're absolute heroes. All their mates were good.
Nice.
Good laugh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm up in the Midlands again, as pretty much always. And all right, we won't talk about that. And I'm going to Cardiff at the end of the week because we were supposed to be seeing Catfish and the Bottlemen, who are now announced that they're breaking up.
Rip.
So they pulled out the show. So we're now going to Cardiff, and I don't know what we're going to do. For my
they really are the Catfish and the Bottlemen.
They've Catfish and the Bottled it, mate. So now I don't know what to do. We're going to be in Cardiff, just living life, really. We're just going to be here, innit? But yeah, here we are. Anyway,
I think they heard. I think they heard you were coming, Ryan. So they were like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? We don't even. They're meant to be Welsh as well, so you think that performing in Cardiff would be like the thing for them. But here we are. So yeah. Anyway, we're not ranting about Catfish and the Bottlemen because that's ruined my last 2 weeks. But yes, let's talk about the Albion. There's a lot sort of going on. I mean, there's not a lot going on, but there is a lot going on when you look into it. Obviously, we've had internationals, we've had a bit of transfer rumours here and there. We're starting the transfers. Obviously, Bissouma, Cucurella, as we've sort of touched on before, being linked with moves away. But before we go into that, obviously, we've got an incoming, by the looks of it, in Julio Enciso, who we went after in January. I've done a bit of research, but you guys, I mean, what do you guys think of this potential, looks like it will be signing, 18-year-old Paraguayan sensation, apparently, in Julio Enciso? Ben, you go first, mate.
I've got high hopes. A lot of people are thinking that we're going to sign him and then he's going to go on loan to the USG or something like that. It would be funny if he does do that because it just continues the meme, but I really do think that he will be staying. You know, when we signed Alexis McAllister for like 8 million, and the only reason why he had to get loaned out after that was because of his international. He didn't have enough. The permit. Whereas Enciso actually has the work permit because he's been playing for Paraguay. So if we're spending 9.5 million, it would be very odd for us to then not use him whatsoever and send him straight out on loan. That would be quite an investment.
But then we did it with Kozlovsky, didn't we? The Kasper Kozlovsky, we sent him straight out.
That was like
we spent like 10 mil.
Yeah, was that for like 6 months? That was like a 6 month loan though. Yeah, we got him in Jan, didn't we?
Yeah,
but I do think, I'm confident, and maybe it's just because I want him to be in the first team next year. But I'm confident we'll see him in the squad next year. But I could be talking my ass. But yeah, what about you, Maz?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Is he a winger? Wide player?
Yeah, winger / striker, I believe. I think he can be a second striker as well.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think that's definitely an area that we definitely want to strengthen, especially with the likes of Danny Welbeck not being too reliable in terms of fitness, and various we've been shown that historically, well, in the last couple of seasons, that going forward we need reinforcements and we need a player that can really just attack teams, because I feel like that's what we've been missing. Is we don't have a player that really sort of runs at the defence.
No.
You could argue obviously we got some talented players. We got Trossard going forward, Mope on his day, good quality. But yeah, I just feel like we're missing that little spark. And hopefully, if he's as good as everyone makes out, and he's that wonder kid that people make out, then he can be a great addition. But my only thing is, he's 18. He's come from the Paraguayan league as well.
Someone said it's Peruvian because I thought it was Paraguayan.
Peruvian.
But right. Someone said it was Peruvian, but maybe they were lying as well. We should know, obviously. I'll quickly Google.
Well, it's Club Libertad, which is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. I've heard that he's meant to be a very big
they are
prospect.
Paraguay.
I mean, the South Americans have sort of bigged him up as being, the next sort of Luis Suarez-esque sort of player. And the only one that was compared to that was Darwin Núñez, who obviously moved to Liverpool, all but moved to Liverpool anyway. I mean, South American talent seems to be a thing at the minute. Everyone seems to be going there to build up players. I mean, we've obviously had McAllister come in recently. We've obviously had Caicedo as well come in and done really well. The South American stock seems to be getting higher, maybe because it's more accessible. Apparently, it's something to do with Brexit.
Everyone loves South American ballers as well, though, don't they? Everyone loves
and it was
South
easier
American baller.
It's now easier to sign them from South America due to the Brexit thing. So that's why people are doing it. And obviously, Enciso, I don't know too much about him. I did a little bit of a scout report on him, and from what I've seen, he scores a lot of goals. And I think he played 14 games in the whatever it is league. Got 11 goals in 14 games. I think 3 or 4 assists as well.
League.
I don't know what it's called. The Farmers League. But to be honest, I'm not really too worried about what league he's playing in, because my outlook on it is, if you're good enough, then you're definitely going to be good enough to play for us. I mean, we've seen that with, like, Caicedo obviously went on loan to Beerschot and didn't, they're not a great side, but has performed so well for us. But, go on, Matt, you want to say something?
My only sort of rebuttal to that would be, so, with Caicedo, for example, he obviously didn't go straight into the Brighton squad. He went out on loan, got experience, whatever. Yeah. And I feel like with him as well, I think that's key. It's like, don't get me wrong, if you're good enough, I agree with that statement. Like, if you're good enough, you're good enough. However, going from playing the Paraguayan league to playing in the Premier League is a complete different kettle of fish. So I just feel like in that sense, I think we need to either do what we did with Caicedo, loan him out and then bring him in halfway through the season and just sort of ease him in like we did with Caicedo, or give him the full season, somewhere, let him just get his XP up in another sort of half decent, in another half decent league, and then bring him back. Like, he's 18 years old, so he's still got so many years ahead of him.
If that is the case, then $9.5 million is a hell of a lot of money just to buy someone and then put them out elsewhere. For us, because we haven't really been spending that money. Like, again, we always say it, but we want to. That $9.5 million is a lot of money, and you could get someone very decent for that money.
I disagree. In this climate, who are you going to get for $10 million?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, we got under for 6.5. Like, we could put that $9.5 million to an actual first team striker. Maybe that you have another bit of budget, but instead of just spending $9.5 million and then not buying a first team striker, for example, that's what I'm trying to get.
But my argument, my sort of thought process is, in this day and age, £10 million won't buy you.
No, I'm saying that will go towards. I'm going that towards someone. So not someone for $10.5 million or $9.5 million. Sorry.
Oh, towards
that can go towards
20,
an
30
actual
mil transfer.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Right.
That's like a third of like a decent striker if you look at a $30 million striker.
I mean,
I'm with you.
It's an interesting debate, because I think as well, to add to it is Graham Potter's first signing that he's requested. Apparently, I don't know how true this. I think the only
Darwin
other
Núñez
signing
wasn't it?
I was about to say, the only other signing that was supposed to be was Darwin Núñez. And, obviously, we mentioned him just a minute ago, how he is joining Liverpool. I mean, that's only in the space of the last 6 months. And obviously, Núñez was never going to come to us, let's be honest. He knew that he could play for a better club. Yeah. He knew that he was a lot bigger than us. I think people seem to get it wrong in the media and social media, saying, we didn't push hard enough, we didn't put enough money into him. I think we put as much money as we possibly could into him. It was just as simple as he knew he could get to a Liverpool or Man City, only 6 months later. So that's what fills me with a lot of confidence towards Enciso. And I spoke to Andrea Orlandi, I think it was the summer of 2020, when we were first linked with Núñez. And I said to him, you're a scout in Spain now. What do you rate of this Darwin Núñez? He was at Almeria at the time. And he said, great little player, but not sure if he could do the step up. He said, it'll be interesting to see how he does to another team before going to the Prem. And obviously that's when he went to Benfica and did very well. Now he's at Liverpool. And it sort of happened really quickly. That's only in the last 2 years. So my point is...
I can't believe it, though. I really don't see where the hype is for the amount that he's going for, like 85 million or whatever it is.
It's a lot of money.
He hasn't exactly lit up the footballing world. Like, he hasn't scored unbelievable amounts of goals at Benfica when he's been there. That's why even when we were going for him, he had like a really bad season at Benfica, which is why we went back in for him after he went from Almeria to Benfica.
His second half of the season was great,
we still believed in him. Yeah. And then he obviously he scored more goals in Europe last year, which is probably where he got his name, but he hasn't exactly lit up like Haaland, for example. We know what he can do.
But then you look at it as
30 million more than Haaland.
how many times do our recruitment team hit? I mean, we are very, very successful in the transfer market, especially in recent times. I feel like whenever we track someone, they do end up doing very well in their careers, or they do very well for us. I don't think it's a surprise that, Man City, us, Arsenal, Liverpool have all been interested in Nunez for the last 2 years. I think it's obvious he's obviously got something about him. For Liverpool to go and spend that sort of money, he must be a great player, because they don't spend that sort of money on players. So my point is, Nunez is 20, 21 years old. And Enciso is on the other side of that, 22. So he's on the other side of, he's actually a lot younger than Nunez actually is as well. Yeah. So he's got that growing time now. But if we get him now, he's going to be able to adapt to our leagues and even, potentially be a superstar for us like Nunez has been. But it is an interesting one.
I think the transfer fee as well of Nunez was dictated a lot by his age as well. I think they got him on a 6-year contract or a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
He's 22, so he's still got another at least minimum 10 years to go. So if you're looking at it sort of from that perspective, but no, I agree, Ben. Like, was it 75 million plus 25 add-ons, which is a lot.
He did score against Liverpool, didn't he, this season? Yeah, I just remembered that as well, which is probably
so.
They liked him.
But to be fair, mate, if you look for his record, to be honest, like, it is very impressive. So he scored 16 goals for Almeria in 30 games, and then 32 goals in 57 for Benfica. So I mean, it's a pretty decent return for a 22-year-old. Like, but if the Portuguese league isn't exactly. I wouldn't call it a farmers league. It's like it's obviously not the
premium farmers.
It's like you obviously got Premier League, Serie A, La Liga. As the main sort of trio as the elite, and then you've got like the step below. So I don't know. In today's day and age, like. These big clubs are spending that kind of money, which is I don't really agree with, but that's just the way that they're spending. And
it's probably unfair for me to compare him to Haaland's price tag, because that was an absolute bargain in a release clause that he had when he joined.
Exactly.
So to say that, obviously Haaland, I think
it's a bit of a loophole, wasn't it?
51 million. Yeah, which is insane.
Let's face it, if Haaland was going without a release clause, it would be 150 million plus. He's going to be on the same league as Mbappe. That it's only them two that's really in that level of extreme money. But let's move on to outgoings then, because obviously it's still a bit of a strange one over Bissouma. I think I'm not sure what's going to happen. Obviously Aston Villa have recently pulled out and said they're not interested. I never thought he would go to Villa anyway. Just on my basic opinion, just to kick it off, I would say that I can see him going to a foreign side. I feel like he'll go to potentially a French side. I think that Monaco would be a great fit. They've just gotten rid of one of their players to Real Madrid. I can't say his name; it's too long. But he looks like a great player.
Something like that.
That's it. Looks like a great player. Obviously, plays similar to Bissouma, I believe. It feels like a bit of a domino effect in that. I think that obviously Monaco are very interested in him. Champions League football, gets to play back in France. I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up at Monaco or someone of equivalent. But what do you guys think on the Bissouma situation at the minute?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. And you mentioned as well Monaco, like back in the day when they had like Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, Fabinho, they were like this. They were producing unbelievable talents and young players as well. But I feel like in the past couple of years with Monaco, I don't know. Does it have the same draw as it used to? Like I know you mentioned Champions League football, Ryan, which is obviously, of course, that's a big draw for any player. But it's like I don't know. I feel like he's better than Monaco. I'm not saying Monaco are bad, but I just in my brain I'm like, is he too good for Monaco? And can he play? And I feel like the French league, the standard is not good, is it? Like, let's be real, it's not the.
I don't know,
but it's money.
I don't know Bissouma well, obviously, but I think true. I think from the way he kind of portrays himself on social media and stuff like that, I feel like he'd love the lifestyle and the money that you can earn there, like the tax.
Monaco as well. It's such a nice place to live if you're rich.
Yeah.
And
obviously being from Liga as well, he's obviously got experience of playing against them, so he's probably heard things about them. He knows what life's like at Monaco.
To be fair, the more we discuss it,
it looks chill.
The more we discuss it, the more it makes sense. The more we talk about it.
It'll be disappointing. I agree with you, Maz. Like, it'll be disappointing. I feel like it could be at such a more high and more competitive level. It would be a shame to just see him take the easy route and just play for Monaco, finish third in the
But then again, I just don't think that big clubs will go after him with all that's sort of happened with it. I just think, in my opinion, I just don't think he's gonna. I just don't think a big club will take that gamble on him. I mean, I'm not commenting on the situation itself, but I just couldn't see. I don't know what's happening, but I couldn't see a big club saying, yeah, we
Seems to
want
have gone
him,
well quiet.
but we're not sure what's going to happen. It's gone very dead quiet, innit? And I could see that almost being like a get out of jail free card, not quite literally, but go to France, back to sort of where you're from. You've been to Lille, and you get to live the life of Monaco, which is an attraction in itself, and play Champions League football. Still play at a decent level, and you'd be easily one of the best players in that league as well, besides the PSG side. I just can't see him going to that big club. Like, one of our other players could be going, which links us on to quite nicely, is Marc Cucurella. Obviously to Man City. It seems so inevitable that Cucurella will go. And the one good thing of the whole situation is, obviously I don't want Cucurella to go. He's one of the best left backs this club's ever seen. But the potential replacement in Gomez, or I can't remember his first name. Is it Julio or something Gomez?
Sergio, innit?
Sergio Gomez, that's it. Sergio Gomez looks like an absolute player for Anderlecht. I think he's got 17 goals and assists from left back this season. Potentially the replacement for Cucurella if he does go. And very, very, he's one of those that's, the stat football hipster machines that all of the football analysts love. Gomez is meant to be the next one for that. And you know what we're like with stats-ridden players. We love players like that. And I could imagine
also
he comes
Barcelona,
in and does really well.
ex-Barcelona youngster as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I don't know too much on him, but 17 goals and assists from left back. I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Well, anyway, what do you guys think?
It
of
would be a
Cucurella?
perfect replacement for him. Go on, Maz.
Yeah, Cucurella, he obviously 2 to 5 favourite, and as Castillo would say, it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good. I feel like with Cucurella it'll be a huge blow. Like, if we were to lose him, I generally think that'll be a huge blow, because not only do we lose a player who's very, very good, what I think is the second big factor is that does that set a precedent to the other players, and like, right, so if Cucurella comes in for a season, does well, see you later. Like, do we then become a Southampton to Liverpool? Do you know what I mean? Like, how the players just come in as a conveyor belt, come for a season, sort of showcase their talents, and then go on to bigger and better things. It's like, do we want to be that club? Does that set a bad
then the trouble
precedent
is, do we have
forward?
much of a choice in these sort of situations? If you've got a club like Man City,
true.
What can we really do?
No, true.
And it could become a positive thing that a player might go, like, maybe I'm let you know, it's all hypothetical, but maybe players will look at us and be like, well, they are the stepping stone to play for another club. So, like, obviously Nunes didn't think when he was at Almeria or Benfica, he didn't think that we were the stepping stone to get that move to Liverpool. But now players might think it. That's obviously just clutching at straws.
And we also finished ninth,
like you said.
Go on, Maz.
That's a draw as well.
Yeah, no. So I was just going to say about the fact we finished ninth, which is an attraction in itself. Now we're we can say we're a top half team, and to say obviously we sold Ben White to Arsenal for 50 million, could be selling Cucurella to City for like 50 million as well. To say we turned over 100 million pounds for two players to two of the biggest teams in the country. If you're a player like Enciso, for example, coming over from Paraguay, you could. I don't know who he's linked with, but I'm sure he's probably been linked with some much bigger clubs than us. It's not even gone on the radar. But why wouldn't you want to come to Brighton at the moment? I mean, potentially Trossard could be off to an Arsenal or Manchester United as well. I've seen him linked with. I just think that it makes sense for us to do that.
That was strange because he had scored a couple of goals, didn't he?
But the only thing I would say is that I agree with both the points you guys have made. Like, in terms of being attractive, like, it's a great thing. Like you said, Cucurella's done it. Like, I can do it as well, etc. However, what I would say then is, like, if we really want to progress and be a consistent Premier League top 10 team, can we afford to have someone coming for a season? It's effectively having a season loan, right? Like, if they come in for 1 year and go, we're a
season loan with a lot of money
on
at the
loan
end
for
of
a
it,
season.
I mean, this is what
true.
I spoke to a football agent about it, and this guy knows his stuff about football, to say the least. And he said to me that Brighton's a very, very well-oiled machine now. He said it goes through the ranks of, you get a young player, you build him up, he does well, you get a load of money for him, and it keeps going round in that sort of thing. If we look below who we've even got in our club at the minute, where Bissouma is, we've literally got Caicedo, who are potentially 50, 60 million pound players again. and it keeps going down and down and down, and then that keeps going round and round and round. The amount of money you're going to make off of that. I mean, you look at the Brentford model, for example. It's worked a treat for them. They were known as the selling club of the Championship. Okay, they're at a much lower level, but I expect they'll continue that as they get and progress through the Premier League. But my point is, they've grown through the Championship by selling their best players, and that's at the Championship level. They're turning over 15, 16, 20
you have to
million.
Be so reliant. That's where it could go wrong. So like Southampton, you have to get
risky.
The replacement spot on every single time. And then if you don't, then it has a really bad knock-on effect and you drop down from where you were.
I don't know about Bournemouth though. Like Bournemouth, they remind me of like a club where I know they've just come back up, but they sort of yo-yoing between the Prem and the Championship the last 5, 6 years, whatever. Not as bad as Norwich, obviously, but with them as well. Like what was it? They sold who did they sell for quite big money?
They sold Mings for quite a few pieces, isn't it?
Mings, they got
Wilson.
Matt Ritchie.
Looking back, maybe they're not the best example. But basically what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make is, hopefully what doesn't happen is if we sell all our best players and then we just fucking go to shit and go back down to the champ. It's like that's what I don't want to. That's why I want us to do our best to keep hold
on the reality.
That's why we've got all these youngsters coming in. I think that's why it seems like it's a bit of a backup plan. We've got these really good youngsters that haven't necessarily played yet, but when we do get if we did get relegated in Championship, we've got those youngsters like Zakiri that could come in and step in.
On the reality of it, isn't it? I mean, if it all did go wrong, I mean, there's still the 25% chance that could happen, and we do fall apart. We might be well oiled, but we're not necessarily guaranteed. And I think that's probably what Graham Potter says a lot. We are Brighton. And, as much as it is annoying and it feels like a bit of a sucker punch when he says it, he is right. I mean, if we do fall apart, which is not, it's not totally unreasonable to say. You look at the likes of Portsmouth, you look at the likes of Sunderland and Bolton, and it's happened to so many clubs much bigger than us. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's always that risk factor.
Mate, even Blackburn, the year after they won the Prem, they got relegated, didn't they? Was it?
Yeah. Wigan got to the FA Cup in the FA Cup final, or won the FA Cup, and we got relegated in the same year. So it happens, and we're not a big club. And it could well happen, but I think with what we're doing at the minute, at least for the next 5-6 years, we're looking in a good position. 10-20 years time, maybe we could fall apart and become the next Portsmouth, but let's just hope. I think all the time we've got Bloom in charge, he does actually care. I mean,
you feel
people
safe.
say, but you do feel a bit more safer than, if we had some American owner. Yes, he's got billions, but is he really going to actually care about the future of the club? Maybe not. But anyway, talking about the future of the club. Go on.
I was just going to say, last thing. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a delay
No,
unfortunately.
I am a bit
have to push through it.
Behind you. Yeah.
I was going to say on Cucurella, I hope it doesn't bite me in the arse, but I'm confident that we'll keep him for at least another year.
I agree. I think so.
And I think maybe City next year.
I'm quietly confident he'll stay for one more year and then he'll leave next year.
I wish I was as confident as you guys, because I've got to be honest, I'm not. And I know I'm normally the positive, but I just think he'll go if I'm on it. But I think that's just the nature of Man City, isn't it?
Move away, isn't he?
I think he'll go to Arsenal,
still being linked with the move.
I really do. I just feel like that whole thing was a domino effect, and this is what I spoke to that football agent. I'm not going to name yet because I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but I had a really lengthy, good chat with him, and this was about a month or two ago, and we're on Zoom, and he was saying about how watch this domino effect happen, and I was like, what do you mean? And he said, watch the Erling Haaland domino effect, and I said, what's that? And he said, well, Arsenal and Man City, Arteta has a lot of respect for Pep, and there'll be that, he'll want to help him out because they can help each other out. So obviously Arsenal aren't on the level. So he said, watch Arsenal go and get Jesus and Zinchenko. He said, that's going to happen. He said, and then that will fund the money for Man City to get Haaland because they're currently, FFP rules. So then that's the money paid for Haaland. They don't even have to worry about it because he's got this release clause. He said, once that happens, he said, those two will go. And he said, it will be this massive domino effect of Haaland goes one way, two players go the other way, and then it opens up the opportunity for Cucurella to go to Man City. And I was like, okay, I didn't believe him. And bear in mind, this was about 2 months ago. I didn't even believe him that Haaland would go. He said there's a release clause that would literally be gone.
Arsenal, isn't he?
Yeah, really. Like, it's all come out in the news. And that's since he's chat with me. And I was like, wow, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. Not that I doubted him anyway. But, you have that element of doubt in your head. My point is, I think if Man City want Cucurella, they'll get him. And I think, it's as simple as they've got the money. That ain't the problem. If we want 50 million, we could be the hard sale, but he'll eventually he'll go. Cucurella wants to go to sea. Of course he does. He wants to go to win Champions Leagues. He wants to go to win Premier Leagues, etc. Why wouldn't he? He wants to work under the best man, one of the best managers ever. Why wouldn't he want to do that? I can see it happening this summer, if I'm honest, but I hope for our sake it won't. But if it does, I am confident we'll bring in a decent replacement. That Gomez, as I mentioned, looked quite good. Anyway, let's move on to internationals then. I haven't watched too much. I did watch one of them, which was Trossard for Belgium. I think he got 2 goals in about 10 minutes or something ridiculous, and one of them was an absolute worldie. I did. Sorry, got linked
whether
with
he meant
United
it
as
or
well.
not, who knows?
I don't know. I feel like he did. I don't know. What do you guys think about a Trossard? Because he goes out on loan. He goes out on to internationals. Absolutely tears it up for Belgium. They must love him out there. And then comes back and he has this sort of big effect. But is that a big effect this time going to be a move to Manchester United or someone equivalent?
I don't know. I think that was a bit of like Trossard was trending on Twitter. A Man United fan page thought, okay, let's just link him with United. I felt like it didn't really have much about it, but he's starting to get eyeballs, and not just from more Brighton fans, because some Brighton fans don't even like him. Like other fans are all starting to appreciate him and say that he is like our best player and that sort of thing.
It's a weird one with Trossard. Like, I feel like he's not good enough to play for any of the top 4 clubs, but he's too good to play for us. Just slightly. I feel like he's in that weird bracket of like he should be playing like Europa League. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's quite Champions League.
Like West Ham level.
Yeah, like to use that analogy, he's not quite Champions League, but he's Europa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, with Trossard, I think he's great, and especially on his day. It's just sometimes he has too many. Sometimes he can be inconsistent. He'll go missing a few games, and then he'll be like your best player. So it's just if you get the right Trossard, if you get Mr. Consistent, I think any club would look to get him in. Would he fit in at Man United? I don't really see him fitting in at Man United, to be honest. I don't know really. I don't know. I can't really picture
him
like
a big
in a Premier League
Man
club.
United fan that Man United would sign, unless Ten Hag, it was one of his wishes that he would get him. But I don't think any Man United board members or scouts are looking at him going, "Yeah, he's a Man United player."
Yeah, but I mean anything's an improvement for Man United, to be honest.
That's true. That's true.
I feel like on Trossard though, I think he is. I think he is capable of playing Champions League if he plays as good as he is, as he can be. Even I feel like I'm not sure whether Man United would be the right move, but I think if he was at a bigger club and he had the better surroundings, I don't think he would flop, because I don't think there's enough expectation on him to sort of be pressured, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, it just depends on how consistent he is, as you say. I mean, if he goes in and is really consistent, I mean, in the Champions League, he isn't going to be the worst player to ever play in the Champions League. There is some, lower quality players in the Champions League that get through. I think he would still be a very decent player in the Champions League. I just don't know what club would take him, because obviously Liverpool wouldn't have him. Man City definitely not. Manchester United possibly. I feel like he could work at either a United or Arsenal. But if I was to choose, I'd say Arsenal, just because I don't see him working at United just because of the stature of the club, and I just think it would be too much weight on him, if I'm honest. But I don't know. He does well for Belgium. That's the weird thing. Really well for Belgium, and they're a great team.
He keeps getting the call up, which is great. Yeah,
and scores as well. He's been really consistent, and I'm not surprised they love him over there. I mean, they do love him over there. And I look up his name on Twitter, and I saw one of them, and it was saying how is Trossard not starting ahead of Hazard? And that was just something I never thought I'd read in my life. A Brighton player, how is he not starting?
That was
Hazard?
Weird, isn't it?
And there's just so many tweets about him saying how positive he is. So, whether he meant that goal or not, but I just feel like it shows his confidence at the moment. He goes over there and he plays like he deserves to be there. In and amongst David De Bruyne and etc. There's so many quality players out there. So maybe he is ready for the step up. I mean, he obviously believes it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come out and said he'll be open to go, would he? But yeah, I don't know. It is a strange one.
He's left the door open, hasn't he? He's left the door open for a move, and fair play to
him. You can't blame him. I'll do the same. If you're getting into a summer, you've had a good season, you're doing well for your country. Why would you want to sign a new deal and tie yourself down when you could potentially get a big move? But he's also happy here. So there's that as well. But anyway, we'll move on.
He's 26, 27 now. That next contract could be coming. And whether he obviously doesn't want that next contract to be at Brighton.
Well, he's coming into his peak, isn't he? And why would he
being linked with Arsenal here?
Arsenal would make sense.
I'm looking at my computer screen. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on a bit. Anyway, we'll go to social media, which has been a bit of a bit of a dry one, because I haven't really tweeted much or anything like that, to be fair. But I have seen about this Rems friendly thing. I don't know if you guys saw about it.
The fact that this is drama and a hot topic just shows how dry content is.
Yeah, it's been a bit dry on socials. But yeah, I'll set the tone. So Rems or I don't even know who actually put out the initial tweet. Yeah, it was someone on Twitter said that we were supposed to be playing Rems in a friendly.
It was a Rems fan page,
23rd of July. Was it a fan page? Yeah, and they said that we were going to be playing them in a friendly on the 23rd of July, blah blah blah, at Rems. And everyone was sort of quoting it, saying, "Oh yeah, it should be a good, if people are going out to France, it should be a good little trip or whatever." Blah blah blah. Anyway, fast forward about a week or two, Brighton put out yesterday saying that it's not happening and it's a complete lie. Now, I don't know where or how that lie came out, and I think even Andy Naylor was quoting it, saying it was, and he had deleted all his tweets and had to clarify that it's not. I found it really strange how there can be a friendly made up and the club don't even announce it. I just find it really weird that this is one thing actually about the club's sort of, how we do our things out online. I don't get how we don't just say, this is what we're going to do, this is the schedule, so everyone knows before they go on holiday, oh yeah, we can go to that one, we can go to that one, we can get some tickets for that one. Whereas now you're leaving it so late that everyone's just going to have to panic buy tickets or not turn
Brett
up. Brett
Mendoza made a really good point, didn't he? Yeah, Brett said that, didn't he? He was like saying about, he said that he has the feeling that people, Brighton don't want fans at their pre-season games, like leaving it this last minute to not even announce what games you're playing away. Because there are fans that want to go away and watch Brighton playing a pre-season game in Italy or in Spain or in France or wherever it may be, but they leave it so last minute and they can't do that. And then by that point, if it's like a game that's just in the end of July, maybe in the school holidays, that's when all the flights are going to be well expensive and all the accommodation will be well expensive. So Brighton fans don't even want to go because it's too late and too expensive.
It is weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get our socials sometimes. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, maybe they want the team to progress without pressure, but I don't know. Isn't it a fun day out?
I don't know if I'm talking. I don't know if I haven't seen any other clubs like announce their pre-season stuff yet, but I'm assuming they have, because otherwise, why would Brighton fans be annoyed that we haven't yet? Surely, otherwise, if this is a normal thing for most clubs to leave it this late, then I don't know what people are complaining about. Right. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
To be honest, it's not too much of a hot talking point, really. It's just one of those things on the socials at the moment. But another thing on the socials,
Naylor was a bit annoyed though, wasn't he? He was annoyed that he got caught on by fake news, didn't he?
Yeah, he fell for the trap. Unlucky, Andy. But no, anyway. So anyway, on the socials, I've got my phone out here. Don't mind, I'm not being rude. So I saw a tweet this morning, boys, and this is purely my interpretation. A few other fans have suggested it as well. And Brighton put a tweet on saying, where does the 2021 Hyperturk strip kit rank in the last, best ever Brighton kits? They said that we've had a go in picking our top 5. Do you agree? Now, why are they picking top 5 kits? Do you reckon they're going to announce a kit today?
Today, maybe. If they're getting the conversation going.
It's definitely a grey area. I don't know, but what do you guys think?
We've had our share of beauty shirts. However, I want to talk about we've had a few clangers as well. Do you know what I mean? So all I want is for it to be a nice one today. If they reveal something awful, I'm like, bloody get back to the. It was like do you remember when Leeds released their their new badge? And it was do you remember? And it was like
the community thing when they were like this.
Yeah. And then all the fans just kicked off and they changed it. So basically, if that happens today with the kit, well, I suggest we all just rally together and just kick off.
If I see a home kit with a collar on it, I'm going to the stadium and I'm going to be sat in the middle of the pitch until they remove the collar.
No, but I sometimes like collars. It depends on the kit design. I don't know.
I'm not a fan. All right, let's put this out there then. What colour do you think the away kit's
what are the 5 kits that they've picked though?
Yeah.
Before we do that, what were the 5 kits that they picked? Sorry.
They've put Hyperturk. They've put the Buckter one, Buckter, whatever it's called. The green and black, which I think is so nice, by the way. I just wish they'd remake that. Hang on, my Wi-Fi, as always, is holding me up here.
Is the Palukaville one there or not?
I'll have a look for you. Hang on.
Big up.
So yeah, it's definitely definitely Hyperturk for me has got to be up there. And Green and Black, to be fair, has been really good in recent years. For some reason, this stupid website's not working again. What a surprise! Oh, it's an app exclusive.
Oh, well, Ben,
of course
if you've
got the app,
Brian, if you can find the, if you can find it, send it to Ben, and then Ben can put it on top of the video, maybe.
So I've just been marketed by the club here. I've gone to a thing, and I have to download the app just to have a look at this article, and I'm going to do it because I'm.
Do they not have like the swipey things? To swipe
no, it's an app exclusive because that's how you're going to sell.
Classic.
Why?
Classic
At least it's not a paywall.
Right.
At least it's not a paywall. I've been clickbaited by the club.
Final topic.
Of course, I'm let down by Wi-Fi. What a surprise! Because why wouldn't I be? Anyway, we're talking about the final point of the podcast today, and we're talking about stolen content from Sport Bible and Graham Potter for England. It's been a bit of a weird topic, and I think to give a bit of a backstory on it, Gareth Southgate, I don't know if you guys saw, said if he's not wanted, he will go. And if he's not wanted, he will go from England, which everyone obviously was replying saying go then, and I was probably one of those. I was one of those. So Graham Potter for England was the winner of the poll on Sport Bible as the next England manager. To be honest, I couldn't really tell you anyone else apart from maybe Eddie Howe, which I don't think would work anyway.
I saw on the Odds Bible's post it was Dean Smith, Pep Guardiola.
Eddie
right,
Howe. We're going foreign, are we? Okay.
Yeah, no, it was. Well, that's what the favourites were in the Odds Bible post.
Yeah, the bookie's favourite. The bookie's favourite.
Right, I see. And Graham Potter then for England. I mean, I'll let you guys kick it off. Maz, you go first, mate, because obviously it's Sport Bible. What do you think on Graham Potter for England?
Yeah. Just to clarify, we they were the bookies' odds. That's just what they're the ones that they think will most likely to go. But
still stir the pot.
I think just firstly start with Gareth Southgate. I don't think he's good enough for England. I just feel like he's very negative. He's doesn't really know his best first 11. And to score,
he's got his mates
3
in
games
there,
without a goal. Yeah, exactly. Like Mason Mount. I know he's a good player, Mason Mount. I'm not saying he's not, but like if you're on a bad run of form, drop him. Like you got to be very ruthless. Like if someone's going through a bad patch, just play someone who's playing well. Like it's don't just go down to nepotism, favoritism, whatever it might be. Just because then that's how you're going to get the hate that he's getting. That's why a lot of sections of England fans are going against him, because he's basically sticking to his favourites and not really. To be fair to him, he did call up Tomori, Gahey. Who else was it? Like, he did bring up
of course, he called up the Palace boys, didn't he? What a surprise!
Tammy Abraham as well. He couldn't really ignore him, to be fair. But it's just for me. He's not the fit. And is Potter the fit? I think he's good enough for sure. He's a fantastic manager. I don't know. I don't want him to leave. So I don't want him to go to England. But could he succeed at England? Sure. Like I don't have any doubts about that.
If we're doing like a comparison, I think Graham Potter would be able to manage games better than Southgate does, because Southgate just God knows what he even does. He's just like give the ball to Kane, and that's about it. Kane doesn't really do much with it.
The
Kane
fact that that's so true as well
most of the
painful.
time. It's so weird. Like Kane's crossing balls in to no one, but when he's meant to be standing there, it's like it doesn't make sense at all.
He goes quite deep, doesn't he?
And then
I like Southgate.
And then the England Brexiteers will just blame Sterling for it or something.
Oh yeah, sure. So the positive thing about Southgate and what he's done really, really well, but England managers haven't done for decades, centuries, of what it feels like. He's made that squad feel so good. The togetherness in that squad is really good. They all get on really, really well, which has benefited them in tournaments because they spend months together in a tight area and they get on really well. And he's done that brilliantly, but he doesn't manage the game well. So I feel like Southgate should be like a first team coach and be in and around the team still. But we actually need like a serious manager, like a Mourinho that could manage games. Like if we had another manager in those finals or semi-finals, I think the results would have been 100%. Different. But what he's done for the team is he's gotten us that far, which is fair play to him. But I think
you've hit the nail on the head there. Like that is the perfect explanation of his time. Like he's a great people person, and he's a great man. Was it man management? Yeah,
man management.
But he's but yeah, like you said, he's tactically inept at times, and especially at key points in big games. It's like he should have done that. He should have done this, or I think that's what really lets him down.
He's got the bottle in him as well, hasn't he? The whole classic England bottling, and it just feels like that's not out of him. And he's been there for 5 or 6 years now, and in that time we've consistently bottled big moments. And the Euros is a strange one for me, because I always said that the World Cup was, we had a bit of an easy run, we played a couple of good teams and lost, whereas the Euros we played a couple of good teams and won. But I feel like the German side we beat wasn't the best German side we could have beaten. It sounds really half-hearted to say that, but it wasn't. Fair. And I just feel like the Italian side we lost to was a game that we were in control of, and we came into it and started classic England style and just bottled it. That was as simple as that. We literally just bottled that. It was just a mentality thing. I feel like the talent pool in England now is better than the majority across the world. We've got one of the best teams, best squads out there, and that's just a fact. I feel like it's being wasted by someone that is just inviting his mates for a party every summer, because it does feel a bit like that. It's great, when everyone gets together, everyone has a few drinks, fine, it's great. But if you look at it on a pure harsh footballing side, it's probably not very good. That's the trouble. It depends on how you want to watch England, because I only really watch the big tournaments, but when I watch England I'm disappointed by how we play every time, and it was only because we went through that sort of Euros. It still wasn't the best Euros run, but it was a lot better than our World Cup one, which is what turned me a little bit. I'd say the most impressive part about the Euros was beating Denmark, because that was a genuinely impressive win. But it's still...
We had to come back to
we still had that ounce of bottle in us, didn't we? We still had that ounce of bottle in us. And I just thought, If
we go going back to Graham Potter, though, I think that, like I mentioned, the positive thing about Southgate is his man management. Potter has that, but Potter also has the game management and the tactics behind it as well, more so than Southgate does. So, not being a Brighton fan, I would absolutely want Graham Potter to be the England manager.
Gotcha.
For some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just because the footballing brain, but I love having like an English manager for the England team. Didn't really get it when we had Sven and Capello, especially Capello, because they had that language barrier. Didn't even understand a word they were saying. You hear stories from the England camps, they had no idea what he was saying half the time. It's just that the training was quite difficult. But I think Potter betters Southgate in both the game management and also man management. He would be good.
Could you imagine?
But not now. Give it
how good we could
10
play.
years. 10 years.
Could you not imagine how good we could play? I mean, I don't know about that whole 10 years thing, because this is the point that me and you disagreed.
It's too early for him, though. It's too early for him to be England manager.
But do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think if he did it, say Southgate got sacked at the end of the World Cup, right? Say we really bombed it,
which is very likely,
and we weren't very good. It is very likely, and we go into the next major tournament, which is in 3 years' time. And we've got, what's next? It's the Euros, isn't it? So we've got 2 years after that, and it's the Euros again. My point is, if we're going into that with anyone else apart from Potter, I mean, who is it going to be? I mean, I would back him over pretty much anyone out there to guide us to a much better tournament than even Southgate would in 3 years' time, because I just don't think that, as I always say, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And I think with Southgate, with Potter, he's at the beginning of his career, but look what he's done with what he's had. I mean, imagine if he's got the talent that's coming through in England at the moment with the likes of Phil Foden, Jadon Sancho, etc. He'll make them play overlooked
so
well
because he hasn't been in a bigger club and hasn't managed bigger players yet.
I'm not talking
until
about
until he manages a Man United team or. That's when he'll earn it.
The egos.
But
the egos.
But Ben, you say that though. Gareth Southgate, who did he manage before England?
Well, I think the reason why Southgate was given it is because of his under-21s.
Yeah, but prior to that, Middlesbrough was probably the biggest one he's managed.
But what I'm saying is Southgate has got that. He was different. It wasn't about the fact that he managed or hadn't managed egos. It's because he had already been in the England development, managing the younger team, and then felt like he was warranted to step up. And I don't think it was like a permanent thing anyway. He was just going to be there for the time being.
He was only meant to be there.
Had a bit of success.
But I still agree with you, Ben, that I don't see Potter going there anytime soon. I think he's obviously wants to achieve stuff. I think at club level first, and then and what that is.
Depends
I don't
if he
know.
did the
like,
whole
part-time
thing. I don't know if he would do that.
I don't think many people do that. Yeah,
but it's not really likely. It's more of a football manager thing.
Yeah.
It's a CSK Moscow manager was the manager of Russia like 5 years ago. So that was the only other time I've actually seen that happen. Where you've got a club manager and country manager.
Yeah, but I just think Potter. Yeah, I think Potter would want to at least win a trophy. Either really achieve stuff as a club manager, and then be like, right, okay, I've done bits here, then go on to international.
Yeah.
That's just my.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Who would you like to see the next England manager? And you can say anyone. Like, for me, I'll start and they'll set the bar. I would love Pep Guardiola to be, and I feel like there is some sort of realism there because he's quite invested in English football now, and he's got some English youngsters that he's had at City and whatnot. So I feel like he would be some sort of realistic shout, especially as like the bookies said that he's one of the bookies' favourites as well. I feel like there's some realism there, and Pep Guardiola might be the guy.
Yeah, I'd like Pep Guardiola. I don't know though. Yeah, sorry. I'm just thinking out loud really because if you wanted to keep it English,
he's the only exception.
There really isn't much
for a foreign manager.
There really isn't much.
There's not much.
I'm thinking through now. I'm looking at it, and in that if it's looking at purely English, it has to be quite Graham Potter. But if it's anyone else, Pep maybe. I just don't like the whole.
I really don't know how we're overlooking Sam Allardyce here. He's got 100% win ratio.
He's got the winning mentality passing lads. Through brown envelopes.
Get him back in, lads. Get Allardyce back in. He's got 100% win ratio.
Yeah.
So you can't even argue with that.
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest. I actually can't think of anyone.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a serious suggestion. Because they're all shit. With all due respect, apart from Graham Potter, all the British managers are shit. Like, it's not shit. That's a bit harsh. They're not shit.
Not good enough.
They're just not like world class.
Yeah, exactly.
Not world class.
Not world class.
Anyway, boys, is there anything else that we've missed? New kits, cargo, talk about Nunez, Cucurella, Enciso, whatever his name is. I think that's everything.
I was listening to the
Enciso, is it?
Enciso.
Okay.
Mate, one of the goals he scored with his weaker foot was absolutely outrageous. Like proper.
Yeah, he looks great, doesn't he? He does look good.
My worry is that he's quite small. He seems very small for the Prem, but maybe we'll give us some growth hormones like Barca did with Messi.
So he's not that small.
Oh really? Yeah,
massive.
Sure. Yeah. Huge.
Okay.
Shocking.
That's about it then, everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for obviously coming on and joining me on this fantastic podcast as ever. Please do keep streaming if you are on Apple or Spotify, and if you're on YouTube, please do subscribe and leave a like. And comments below as well. Leave down a comment, guys. What should we say?
Enciso with loads of O's.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm not going to dispute that one. And comment down and see and keep streaming, all of that good stuff. And we'll see you probably. You
have to put at least 10 O's.
At least 10
as a minimum.
Yeah.
The more O's, the better.
And if you are, And I think if you are going to watch us next time, it'll probably be in about two weeks, maybe. We'll see. Depends if anything else happens in between.
Unless we sign some absolute ballers in between them.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, that's the hope. Yeah. The whole event project thing, which I'm planning for us, is still just as frustrating as it was about 4 months ago. So nothing's changed.
Fingers crossed.
I'm being. Actually, no, I'm not saying that. Right. See you all for next time, and goodbye.
Peace.